Unless someone had cared a whole awful lot, this movie would not have been good. It would not. The Lorax. Now, I am a huge fan of Dr. Seuss's The Lorax, and my biggest fear was that they would not adapt this movie well enough. But thankfully, my fear is largely unfounded. One thing to note is that the movie does stray from the book quite a bit. The focus is now shared between the Wansler and the boy, who in the book was left unnamed, but in the movie is named Ted. The movie tries to split itself between the two stories, explaining the Wansler's origins in one story, and Ted trying to romance Audrey, a girl he's really interested in another. The movie kind of manages to do both fairly well. Now, I may be in the minority on this, but I actually felt the best part about this film was that in many areas it did have a lot of heart to it. You can tell in a lot of the areas that a great deal of love and affection went into this movie, to which I am very glad. Now, some may attack this movie for having a super liberal environmental message, but I disagree. Now, I am by no stretch of the imagination an environmentalist, but the story does have a subtlety to it. However, there were a few problems with the movie that I really couldn't overlook. First, I felt that most of the singing parts were largely unnecessary, and save for one song, How Bad Can I Be, they were all really unnecessary and should have been removed. I also kind of felt that a lot of the jokes were very poorly handled, and if they had left some of the jokes out, left some of the songs out, this movie could have been a lot better for it. Finally, the production team was really trying to go for this stereotypical children's movie. I mean, you can tell that there's a lot of really cutesy characters, from the Despicable Me, the little corn pop minions or whatever. You can see a lot of the animation of those minions in the Barbaloots and especially the humming fish. And these scenes were cute, but they really did take away from the overall heart of the story sometimes. But despite those flaws, I still did enjoy myself in this movie. So what are my final thoughts on The Lorax? This is really hard. It is a very good film. It has a great deal of heart in a lot of its segments. But then it'll sacrifice that heart for a cutesy character or an unnecessary song or joke. And that really does take away from the overall meat of the story, which was fairly whole in the book. Now, some people are going to say, ooh, they ruined another adaptation of Dr. Seuss. But they really didn't. It was very entertaining, and I would go check it out again, and that's what I recommend to you. I recommend to check out The Lorax. Whether you buy it or not is up to you, but I personally wouldn't mind going to see this again and maybe buying it for my collection. So now it seems that they have finally gotten a hang of adapting Dr. Seuss stories. I mean, The Grinch was... Cat in the Hat was awful. Horton Hears a Who was fine in a lot of areas, but it really didn't have a lot of heart to it. The Lorax was actually really good, and it makes me excited to see what the next Dr. Seuss movie to be adapted will be. Okay, not what I would have done. So remember to like and subscribe to this video, and in the comments down below, I would like to hear from you guys what Dr. Seuss story you would like to see adapted into a movie. For me, I really want to see The Butter Battle Book. I'm Joseph Marks, and I hope to see you guys again next time on Cinema in Review. Good night, everybody.